Moving to our first story, hundreds of trade union groups are today demonstrating throughout major streets in the various regional capitals to impress on government to reduce new increases in utility tariffs and petroleum prices. Here in Accra, the Obra spot near the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, some of the protesting labor groups have been sharing their frustrations with Joy News' Derek Ekosam.
Your name and who you are?
I'm I'm the General Secretary for the Ghana Registered Nurses Association.
So what are you doing here today?
We are demonstrating against the increment in tariffs and demonstrating against the act, the FUA Act. We are against it. And the Killer Act, we have it here. It's a Killer Act, Act 899. It's going to kill workers in Ghana. It's going to kill all workers. So government should scrap it off. That is what we are saying. Should scrap it off. And we need a reduction in utility tariffs.
But how much would you want them to reduce it to?
Up to 50%, we can afford it. So they should get down to 50%. And if they are compassionate enough, down and below even 50%. Yes.
Now, you would want to demonstrate, but over the years you realize that demonstrations hardly yield any results. You think this one will be successful?
Yes, that is why we have outlined a number of activities. When you look at the roadmap that we circulated, this is the first. We are starting with a demonstration. The actions, the dates may change, but the actions are not going to change. We have strike actions in our belt waiting and all other actions. So we are gearing up with this demonstration. As
Talk about compassion here. Now you have patients in the hospitals, but your nurses are on the streets. They may die. What do you think?
Yes, our nurses are here. We are demonstrating. But as compassionate as we are, we haven't left our patients. There are nurses and midwives on the ward taking care of our patients. We have left staff there to take care of them, and we are also here. These are the nurses here. Unity! Unity!
Let me talk to this man as well. You're also on the street demonstrating against the tariff hike.
Yeah, looking at the situation now, you buy credit of about 30 cedis. Within 2 days, it is gone. How can we survive, my brother? How can we survive? The salary is static, but the tariffs are going up. We have children to take care of. We have to take care of our patients, but we also have children to take care of. Our future and our children's future. How can we continue like this? It is really, really killing. We are pleading with the government that the tariffs should go down.
All right. You have this on your paper, which is a sort of placard for you, and they are saying President Mahama should be compassionate about it. But what sort of compassion are you looking for?
Oh, he should be compassionate to us. He should have pity on us that our salaries are not up to what he expects us to pay. If he wants us to pay more, he should then increase our salaries for us. Then we pay realistic taxes for him.
Meanwhile, the police have been telling Joy News about their preparedness to handle today's protest in case of any eventualities.
We have put in place everything that we need to put in place to ensure that this demonstration comes off successfully. So I want to assure all and sundry that they should relax. We are on top of our game and everything will be fine.
Seeing the number of people here, do you think you will be overwhelmed?
We have sufficient plans in place to contain whatever number the leadership of the demonstrators will end up bringing to the fore. We will be able to deal with every situation that come up. So we are not overwhelmed at all.
It could turn violent at a point in time. Do you have what it takes to control that?
With the discussions that we've had with the leadership, we are rest assured that we will not go anywhere near violence, because TUC is a very responsible institution, and all the workers, they are here just for a purpose, and the purpose is going to be achieved without violence. So we are rest assured that there won't be any violent situation. But in case an isolated one or two do, we want to assure all and sundry that we are well poised to deal with it.
Let's quickly get onto the phone lines and speak to Benjamin Peters from the Western region for the latest on the ongoing demonstrations there in the region. Hello, Benjamin.
Hello.
How far were the demonstrations in the Western region, and where exactly are they having it?
Yeah, it took place at within the metro, that's the Kendi Takrady, but it started from Takrady around 8 a.m. and it just ended a few minutes ago when the demonstrators presented their petition to the executives of the Regional Coordinating Council. But unfortunately, they are expressing disappointment in the regional minister because upon reaching the Regional Coordinating Council, the regional minister was absent, as well as the deputy regional minister. So they met only the coordinating director, who received the petition and promised to forward it to the appropriate quarters for the necessary redress. Another thing is that the turnout wasn't all that encouraging. What they were telling me is that the education teachers were supposed to join the demonstration, but what they gathered was that they are alleging that some educational officials in the region threatened the teachers that they were going to embark on a head count, and as a result, most of the teachers couldn't join because they were afraid that they would be punished. So that affected the turnout. But overall, everything was a success, and it just came to an end a few minutes ago.
Okay, so what exactly are they asking government to do? Are they requesting for what their colleagues here in Accra are also requesting for? Of course. And they are also saying that the additional taxes, the calculation done, they think there were some disparities somewhere. They think they increased it, which is beyond the expectation of the ordinary Ghanaian. So they are calling on government to, as a matter of urgency, ensure that discrepancies is redressed. Okay, thank you, Benjamin. We'll be picking more in our subsequent bulletins from Benjamin. We have Rafiq on the line. Hello, Rafiq. We lost him over there, but we'll get Rafiq on the line to find out updates in the various regions. But we are asking, how did we get here in the first place, and how do we get out of it? Austin Game is a labor consultant, and he has been telling us more.
It's quite, if you like, a humongous type of thing. It's not very easy to, you can quantify if you have time, but the point is that it's huge. If indeed they are calling everybody off, assuming you people in multimedia decide to join and you are off from your job, it means you are not on air. Your clients will not pay you for your adverts and so forth and so on. So you've lost money and you will never be able to regain it. And as a result, if the employer wants to be very, thorough with his business, some of you will lose your job.
But for instance, is this demonstration not justified looking at the arguments executives from organized labor have made that, listen, the prices of crude oil on the world markets are going down. In fact, it is now $27. 12 years, the lowest ever. Ghana, we are selling a gallon of petrol for over 16 cities. And so if we've been talking and you're not hearing, then the best way is to go on the streets.
Well, in economics and managing people and its financial consequences for a nation like ours, it's not entirely easy. To just say that because the petroleum price is coming down, there might not be. I think that in fairness to labor, they have the right to raise these issues, and I support them raising the issues. But I also wish that they have time to sit down and talk about these issues. I was listening to the president of Nigeria about 2 weeks ago. They are compelled to go to IMF because they think that the petroleum price coming down is not helping them. Two, it's the same thing in Ghana here as well. As it's coming down, it's affecting our income, and therefore we must find other means, other creative means, if you like, of getting more money in. One of the cheapest way of collecting money is through petroleum, levy and so on and so on. And this is, I do not think it's about the pump just that way, but it's about several other things which we all need, like especially the energy.
Joy News Today takes a quick break. We'll be back with more stories. Please stay on. Thanks for staying on Joy News Today. We are moving away from the labor demonstrations, but we'll come back to it shortly. Now, the management of the National Health Insurance Authority has interdicted 19 of its staff. The move follows a nationwide investigation by the Bureau of National Investigations into some alleged financial malpractices at the scheme. The former boss of the NHIA, Sylvester Mensah, has also been under investigations by the BNI after the president directed a probe into the operations of the scheme. An internal memo signed by the Deputy Chief Executive, Administration and HR of the NHIA lists the Deputy Chief Executive, Finance and Investment, Nate, and the Director of Internal Audit, Gustav Krushag, being among the 19 interdicted. Now, convinced that it has satisfactorily dealt with load shedding, the Electricity Company of Ghana says it is now determined to end all localized power outages by the end of March this year. Officials in the sector have been at pains to distinguish between load shedding and intermittent outages, as highlighted by ex-Power Minister Dr. Kwabena Donko. Speaking exclusively with Joy News, ECG Managing Director Robert Dramina said the localized outages are as a result of faults which some distribution lines and equipment. These faults, he says, should be resolved in the next 3 months.
You go through an intensive load management program. It involves switching the equipment on and off. No, this equipment is not designed to be switched on and off. So as you do that, you weaken the equipment. You advance the age of the equipment, you see. So because of the load management program, some of our networks have suffered some weaknesses. And this will show up once we begin to have continuity of power. But then we have positioned ourselves. See, we are going through some reorganization at our district levels. That is where they do all the operations. That is where they have the interface with our customers. And therefore, we believe that if we are able to change the attitude of our staff in making sure that they respond effectively to customer complaints, we'll be able to change the company. And that is what we are doing now. So currently we have positioned ourselves to make sure that these challenges will come, but we'll be able to resolve them within the shortest possible time. Now that we're having constant supply, now people are using all their appliances, and this is showing up in the transformer loadings. But we have, I can tell you, we have enough transformers in our system. I can tell you we have getting to about, because we knew we were going to go through this, we have over 2,000 transformers to make sure that we are able to overcome these challenges like transformer overloading.
There's this matter of load shedding. We were told earlier that it had gone off. Then the load management committee came and told us, well, because of some challenges, we may have to linger for a while. We are not clearly out of the woods. Yes. We were made to understand that we're supposed to have some kind of load shedding timetable. Will that come out already?
Oh, like you said, we have a load management committee. I'm not a member of the committee, and therefore I want to delve into issues concerning that, because like I said, they are working on a program. Mm-hmm. You see, they are working on a program. They've not submitted a program to us to review, and therefore I will not want to.
So until that happens, we will not see a load shedding timetable?
Yes, currently, like I said, we are having adequate power. I mean, you get 24-hour power in your home. Mm. Yes, and you continue to have that. So let's all understand that that is what we are going to have. We may have challenges, but I don't think that it will be load shedding.
Okay. This question is about the negotiations that are going on currently to have the tariffs reduced in view of the agitations by Labour. We know you need these tariffs to generate the power. For you as the ECG, already what you asked for you were not given.
Yes.
Would you be able to deal with another reduction?
It will be difficult. You see, like you said, we asked for about 102%, and then we were given 59. Then the 59 is even for the 3 or tiers of that is for generation, for transmission, and for distribution. Once we didn't get the what we requested for, it means that it will affect our operations. We now have to be able to prioritize. And, you know, the power sector now needs to be very robust. We have to be able, after these challenges that we went through, we should not go back as a nation to those days again. We shouldn't, as a nation, go back. So, and the only thing that we need to make sure that we don't go back is money. We've moved from hydro to thermal generation. Thermal generation is expensive. At the end of every month, you have to make sure that you get fuel, you get this, So, Kenyans should understand and appreciate that it is not the intention of the utility companies just to collect money for themselves, but we want to use the monies that we generate from our.
Now we're moving back to the story on the nationwide demonstration being organized by Labour. Let's gauge the mood in the Brong Ahafo region, and Nesta Kafui is our correspondent and he joins me on the line. Hello, Kafui.
Hello.
Well, what can you report in the Brong Ahafo region about the demonstrations?
Yeah, what I can report now is that the demonstration has been patronized, was not patronized well enough. You could see very few demonstrators around. It started early, and it started around the post office, the regional post office, and it went through down to the regional coordinating council and presented the petition to the deputy regional minister. When I've been speaking with some of the workers around who were not part of the demonstration, what they've been telling me is that even though they are with their friends who are demonstrating in spirit, they didn't want to be part of it physically because they thought the government is not listening to their plight. Whatever they will say, the government will not want to adhere to it. So it was unnecessary for them to be part of the demonstration physically. But in spirit, they are with their colleagues for demonstrating. So for now, the demonstration has ended just about an hour ago, and business is back to normal.
Thank you, Nesta Kafui. That was Nesta from the Brong Ahafo region, giving us updates on the demonstration. Now, Rafiq Salam also joins us from the Upper West region, precisely from WA, with some updates as well. Hello, Rafiq. Hello, Rafiq.
Hello, Benny.
Yes, Rafiq, what can you also report?
I can tell you that several hundreds of workers from both the public and private sector, comprising teachers, health workers, hairdressers, dressmakers, and corn millers, joined the demonstration this morning. They demonstrated clad in red t-shirts and red armbands, demonstrated through some principal streets in the Upper West Regional Capital amid tight police security as they enjoyed music blaring from loudspeakers kept on the moving tear truck. I must also tell you that there was heavy police presence. The police numbering about 60 made sure that the demonstration was peaceful. And I'm also tell you that the demonstrators were not also violent, and so it was peaceful. So they finally converged at the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council, where their petition was read by the Upper West Regional Secretary of the TUC in the person of George Kofi Odi. And so I read the petition. It was based on two main things, talking about a new energy bill that was passed by Parliament, and they are calling for it to be scrapped, to be removed. And then also they are also calling on the government to let the tariff reduce the tariff hike in the country. So basically, these were the two issues that was laid in their petition, and then they gave it to the Deputy Upper West Regional Minister in the person of Dr. Mohammed Mushebu Mohammed Alpha. On receiving the petition, he also promised and pledged that it will be sent to the appropriate contest for the president or for whoever responsible to take immediate action.
Thank you so much, Rafiq. And that was Rafiq Salam reporting from WA. We'll take a quick break for business. We'll be back.
Hello, good afternoon. This is Joy Business. My name is Emmanuel.atani. Barclays Bank Ghana has downplayed reports that its parent company is preparing to end its operations in sub-Saharan Africa. According to the UK Times newspaper, the group is preparing to send some of its 62% stake in Barclays Africa, one of the continent's largest banks, employing about 44,000 people. Officials of Barclays Bank Ghana, however, say they deem the report a speculative one which does not warrant an official response per their policy.
Barclays Bank built up its African banking network, including 12 countries over nearly a century, making it one of the leading Western banks, along with Standard Chartered and Citigroup operating on the continent. Most of Barclays Africa's banking is carried out in South Africa. The Times newspaper reports the decision to head out of Africa is part of the strategy by the new chief executive, Jess Staley, to refocus on a narrower range of businesses. It attributes the move largely to in commodities prices and political instability on the continent, which has seen the South African currency lose more than a quarter of its value against the US dollar in the past 6 months. Analysts, however, say finding an outright buyer for Barclays' African business is unlikely because of the commodity price crash and China's economic slowdown, which have dulled appetite for emerging market assets.
Now, the high cost of financing remains a major challenge affecting the growth of small and medium-scale enterprises in the country. This is set to be negatively affecting the country's competitiveness on the global front, job creation and revenue generation, as SMEs constitute over 90% of registered businesses. Now, to bridge this gap, an SME financing fair which seeks to bring together financial institutions, government agencies and the SMEs is to be held in March this year. Minister of State in charge of private sector development, Rashid Pelpo, earlier has addressed the media launch of the fair in Accra.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, studies initiated by the government, the World Bank and development partners have indicated and identified access to finance as a critical constraint is debilitating enough and ensuring that SMEs find it difficult to break out into the market and beyond the Ghanaian market and realize their very potentials that they are meant to realize. Recognizing that the prevailing high interest rates and limited access to funding are difficult and are forces working against the SME sector, we are launching the SME Financing Fair in a bid to find lasting solutions to the challenges and bring exposure to innovative financing mechanisms prevailing in the country now.
And that's it for the business for now. We will bring you some more updates of business in our major news bulletin at 7 p.m.
Thanks for staying on Joy News today. Away from business, some members of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament are staging a protest to suspend the public hearings until the Governor of the Bank of Ghana responds to the invitation by the committee. The Governor, for the second time, failed to show up at the Public Accounts Committee. Though Deputy Governor Mr. Millicent Na is representing the Governor, MP for Etrima Mpuanua Isaac Esiama wants sitting to be suspended until Dr. Kofi Wampa is ready to appear before the committee. Vice Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee is moving for contempt charges to be brought against the Governor of the Central Bank. My colleague Elton Broby joins us on the line for further updates. Hi, Elton. Hello, Elton.
Yes, I can hear you.
So, has the committee really suspended sitting?
No, they are back in session and they have a 5 minutes in-camera meeting with the Deputy Finance Minister and from the Bank of Ghana. and they are back now in session. They are holding the public hearing. But the directive to the governor of the Bank of Ghana is that he should appear before the committee tomorrow so that they can look at the audit findings reported by the Auditor General. Because some of the issues that they are discussing now requires that the governor of the Bank of Ghana, together with two other banks, the Ghana Commercial Bank and Ecobank, and the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, appear before the committee in camera to resolve an outstanding reconciliation issue that needed to be done. But members, even before they went into that in-camera meeting, expressed their disappointment with the way the governor of the Bank of Ghana is treating, communication from the Public Accounts Committee. According to this, is not the first time this has happened. Indeed, on 3 occasions, they've had cause to, complain about the conduct of the governor of the Bank of Ghana. It doesn't look like there is an improvement regarding his relationship with the members of the Public Accounts Committee. And because they are with the powers of the High Court, they can charge him for contempt. But for now, they are standing down on that particular provision. The governor will have an opportunity to appear before the committee tomorrow. It is their expectation that he will be here. But if he's unable to come before the committee tomorrow, then they may invoke some of the powers invested in them as far as the committee sitting is concerned. The governor was actually expected to provide clarity on an audit finding captured in the 2012 auditor report of the Auditor General. Now, here we are talking about some banks, and I'm talking about the Ghana Commercial Bank and Ecobank, failing to transfer into the consolidated fund a total of 83.2 million Ghana cedis, representing various taxes paid on petroleum products lifted by the oil marketing companies from Toma Oil Refinery for the period January 2010 to December 31st, 2011. And according to the Auditor General, this particular amount of money has been outstanding in the accounts of these banks, Commercial Bank and Ecobank, for 2 years, and nothing has been done for the necessary reconciliation to be so the government can have access to this particular money. And it is only the Bank of Ghana or the governor that can provide clarity on what stage they are in terms of collecting this particular money. And because the Public Accounts Committee cannot hold commercial banks and the Ecobank in their public hearing, what they've decided to do is to have an in-camera meeting tomorrow with these banks and the governor so that they can resolve this particular issue. Also, some state enterprises, including the Ghana Armed Forces, the Toma Oil Refinery, the Auditor General reports is that these institutions, procured oil from the oil marketing companies to the tune of
Hi, Elton. Thank you so much for giving us those updates over there on the Public Account Committee sitting. Now, Echo Sam joins me in the studio to tell us how the demonstrations in Accra panned out. Hi, Echo.
Bernice, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So, tell us, how did the demonstrations go today in Accra?
2.5 hours walking through the sun, through the principal streets of Accra, through Madabraka, Fari School, Ministries, finally, to the Black Star Square. There, the protesters presented a petition to the Minister of Employment and Labour Relations, Haruna Idrisu. He was there himself to accept that. Now, they're asking for two things. They're asking government to reduce the tariff increases to 50% for both electricity and water. And they are also asking that government should withdraw the Energy Sector Levies Act 899. And so these are the two things they're asking for. The Labour Relations Minister, Haruna Idrisu, he condemned the act. He is of the opinion that they should have sat to judge or some more to get a better solution to this one. But he took the petition presented to him. He says that tomorrow they would meet, and so they would look for another way to solve this particular problem.
He would meet with leaders of
organized labor.
Okay.
So both parties would meet. Organized labor say they are going into the meeting with these things in mind, and they will not compromise on these two. They want these two to be done for them, and then that would end the current impasse. Other than that, we should expect some other industrial actions from them.
All right, thank you so much, Elko, for giving us updates about the organized labor demonstration here in Accra. We'll take a quick break. Join news today. We'll be back with more. Please stay on. That'll be all for this edition of Joy News. Today, for more news, kindly log on to myjoyonline.com. Coming up at 1 is our new live business program, The Marketplace with John Ankoma. Keep watching. My name is Benis Abubedu. Thanks for your time.